and has led on collaborative projects both within the UK and Europe. He has lectured in many parts of the world, including USA, Canada, Singapore, and Hong Kong. His main research interest is the application of AI techniques to solve real world problems. So hopefully, sir today has something related to that, some AI method to solve our COVID problem maybe. A very warm welcome to you, sir. It is very good to have you with us again. I hand over the session to you now, sir. Please start, please.
Thank you. I'm not really going to talk much about my research today, although my teaching and my research has been impacted over the last 6 months by COVID-19. I come from Wales, and I'll say a little bit more about Wales in a little bit, but for the last 6 months, we've been working online. And because the number of cases of COVID in the UK has increased, most universities will be teaching online for the whole of the next academic year. So by the time things hopefully begin to improve, it'll be a year's time before we start beginning teaching students again properly on campus. That will have meant we'll have gone for 18 months, a whole year and a half of teaching online. So there have been major shifts in what we've done and how we've done it. And those are the things mainly I want to pick up on today. And it's really a personal impact assessment. Really, it's about how COVID has impacted my view of the world. And COVID has been, in many ways, a time where I've had time to do things that maybe I haven't done for a long time. So I've been able to read a lot. I travel a lot with work, and so I spend a lot of time in the car, on trains, in planes. And obviously for the last 6 months, that hasn't happened. For the foreseeable future, that hasn't happened. And so I've read books that some of them I've read previously, some I've never read before. One of the books that I've read is A Tale of Two Cities by a very famous British author called Charles Dickens. And he starts off one of his books called A Tale of Two Cities with the very famous lines, if you were studying English literature: it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And again, I'm talking from a personal perspective. In the UK and Europe, it has been the best of times, it has been the worst of times. It has been the best of times in the sense that on a Thursday night at 8 o'clock, the whole of the UK almost comes to a standstill, and people go outside their houses and they clap. And they clap in support of the National Health Service, who are doing so much to help make sure that the impact of COVID-19 is as limited as it can be. And yet it has been devastating. And here is a picture of just one scene in a church where the coffins of people that have died of COVID-19 are lined up by the dozen. And so it has been a time where society has come together and has pulled together, where people have done things together in a way that maybe previously they hadn't done. And yet in many ways, it's been a pretty disastrous time. It's been the best of times and it's been the worst of times. But again, picking up on what people have written, there is a saying that pain teaches you more than pleasure, failure teaches you more than success, poverty teaches you more than prosperity, and adversity teaches you more than comfort. And during the last 6 months, there has been a huge amount of learning. People have learned to do things in a new way. Now, again, picking up a personal reflection. There's a map of the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom consists of 4 countries. It consists of England, it consists of Wales, it consists of Scotland, and it consists of Northern Ireland. the United Kingdom. And I live in one of those countries called Wales. And on that map, I live in that place that is labeled A. And each day, 5 days a week, I travel to work, which is at point B. And for the last 6 months, that journey from A to B has not happened. Now, that has saved me a lot of time. It saved me a lot of money. If I just again look at my travel from A to B, which I make on average 5 days a week, it has saved me a lot of money. It takes me approximately about 50 minutes to an hour on a good day to drive to work, and then 50 minutes to an hour to drive home from work. Petrol in the UK is reasonably expensive, and my estimation is that number is increasing all the time. I've probably saved now nearly £1,000 in petrol, which is a big chunk of my salary I spend every day on travel. And over the last 6 months, I've saved on that travel. It's reduced the amount of time I've spent traveling back and forth to work. And again, you can see the calculations that the amount of time I'm saving every day is beginning to mount up. And I think we've learned in the UK that we'll never go back to doing things the way that we used to do them. We've already made decisions about the way that universities will run, that rather than requiring people to be on campus 5 days a week, the number of times that we will require them to be on campus will be reduced. It means that we can reduce the buildings that we need. It requires the number of labs we need to be reduced. It reduces the time that people have to travel. And so an estimate, if I reduce my travel to work from 5 days a week to 3 days a week, I'll save that money twice a week forever. I'll save that time forever. And it's not just me. Right across the UK, we have a problem with roads that are jammed to capacity. We have trains that are overused, where there are too many people trying to get on too few seats. And over the last 6 months, as a whole nation, we've learned that a lot of the things we do, travel to the office to do, we can now do very easily at home online. Now, things that have changed again in the UK due to COVID-19. We have a very good national health service, which is free at the point of need. That means that if you have an illness, you can go and see your doctor. Having seen your doctor, if you need to go and see a specialist consultant, you can go and see that consultant. And all that is done free of charge at the point of need. People pay for the National Health Service via their taxes. But it does have the problem. It does have the problem that there are sometimes in certain parts of the UK long waiting lists. There are long waiting lists because people are getting older in the UK, people are living longer, and generally speaking, as people live longer, they require more medical interventions. There are also waiting lists in the UK because doctors tend, and this is a generalization, doctors tend to prefer to work with other doctors, and so they tend to congregate in terms of their practice and their offices in major cities. And people out in rural areas sometimes have more difficulty in getting to see doctors because of travel constraints and things like that. Now, we have a health service where, because of COVID-19, as a result of COVID-19, our health service, the man that runs the health service for the UK, a man called Matt Hancock, has said that he would hope that consultations should be remote by default. That is, you shouldn't have to go and travel and see your doctor when you can see your doctor online. Now,